The art of the hunt. Lion strategy on the savanna. The grass does not scream, it bends. A ripple moves through the golden savanna, subtle and almost elegant. But there is no wind. The sun hangs low, pressing heat into the earth. The herd grazing in the distance senses something it cannot yet see. Somewhere inside that shifting grass, muscles are coiled. When a lion attacks, it is not chaos at first, it is calculation. This is the moment most people imagine as explosive violence. But in truth, the attack begins long before the first sprint. It begins with silence, with distance, with patience measured not in seconds, but in hours. The African savanna stretches wide and unforgiving. During the dry season, grass thins and waterholes shrink into muddy craters. Prey animals are forced into tighter spaces. They gather near the last reliable sources of water, their numbers growing dense, their vigilance constant. This landscape does not favor recklessness. Every step across open ground is visible for miles. Shadows are scarce. Cover is limited. For lions, this is both challenge and opportunity. Their power is undeniable, but it is useless without proximity. The stakes are severe. A lion may attempt several hunts before succeeding. Each failed chase drains energy that cannot be wasted. Injury is not an option. A broken leg or torn ligament means slow starvation. The line between apex predator and vulnerable animal is thin. Within the pride, hierarchy dictates order. The lionesses are the hunters. Sleek, muscular, lighter than the males, they carry the burden of precision. They understand terrain intimately, where grass grows thicker, where ground dips slightly, where antelope tend to graze at dusk. The dominant male often watches from a distance. His size is a weapon meant for territorial disputes, not stealth. His mane makes him visible. His roar defines borders. But when it comes to the attack itself, he is rarely the first to move. The lionesses form loose positions, not in a straight line, not in rigid formation, but in angles. One circles wide, barely visible in the grass. Another inches forward directly toward the herd. A third remains deeper in cover, anticipating the direction of escape. This is not random, they are reading behavior. Prey animals reveal weakness constantly. A limp in one individual, a distracted mother separated slightly from her calf, a young male too confident in his speed. Lions do not attack the strongest animal in the center of the herd. They isolate. The tension builds slowly. The herd lifts its heads, ears twitch. A single antelope snorts sharply, warning others. Movement pauses, bodies cluster closer. They sense pressure, but they do not yet know from where. The lioness closest to them flattens further, belly brushing earth. Her breathing slows, her ears angle forward. The distance closes meter by meter, then the wind shifts. It is a small thing, invisible, but it carries scent. The herd reacts instantly. Heads snap toward the source, muscles coil. For a second, the entire landscape freezes. This is the pivot. If the lions hesitate, the opportunity vanishes. They do not hesitate. The grass explodes. 3 lionesses burst forward simultaneously, not toward the center, but toward a single target already chosen. The herd fractures in panic. Dust rises in thick clouds, hooves thunder against dry ground. The selected antelope breaks left, then right, attempting sharp turns to disorient its pursuers. The lioness closest to it commits fully, accelerating with terrifying efficiency. Her claws extend for traction. Her body flattens into pure forward motion. The other lionesses adjust. One cuts across the expected escape route. The third slows slightly, conserving energy in case the chase stretches longer than planned. A hunt rarely lasts more than 30 seconds. If it does, odds shift toward the prey. The antelope stumbles briefly in uneven ground. It is barely noticeable, but the lioness sees it. She lunges. Impact. Her forelimbs wrap around the prey's hindquarters. Momentum carries both forward. The antelope struggles violently, hooves striking backward with dangerous force. The second lioness arrives instantly, clamping onto the throat. She tightens her grip, cutting airflow. The third lioness anchors the body, preventing escape. It ends quickly. Silence returns just as suddenly as it vanished. The herd regroups in the distance, watching. Some return to grazing within minutes. Survival demands efficiency of memory. They cannot afford prolonged fear. The lionesses breathe heavily, sides expanding and contracting as adrenaline drains away. Their focus shifts from pursuit to protection. Vultures circle overhead, reading the scene from high above. Hyenas may approach, drawn by scent and sound. The dominant male emerges now, his presence altering the dynamic. He does not assist in the kill, but he will claim priority at the carcass. Hierarchy reasserts itself. The lionesses step back as he feeds first. Cubs approach cautiously. They must learn the order of things early. The strongest eat first. The rest wait. But not every attack ends this way. Failure is common. Sometimes the herd senses danger too soon. Sometimes a single alarm call shatters the approach before lions are close enough. Energy is wasted. The lioness is slow, abandon pursuit, and retreat to shade. Hunger grows. As days pass without success, pressure increases inside the pride. This is when danger rises. A buffalo herd near a shrinking waterhole presents temptation. Massive, muscular, armed with curved horns, capable of goring through bone, buffalo are not ideal prey. But they are abundant. The lionesses approach carefully. Buffalo stand shoulder to shoulder, calves shielded in the center. They face outward, horns angled forward. One lioness tests the edge of the herd, darting in briefly, then retreating. The buffalo react collectively, charging as a wall. The ground shakes under their weight. This is no longer subtle. The lions reassess. They look for the old bull, slightly separated, slower to pivot. They circle, probing weakness. A second feint, a third. Dust clouds obscure vision. Then the moment opens. A young buffalo drifts too far from the cluster. Panic pushes it outward. A lioness lunges, gripping its flank. The buffalo bellows, thrashing violently. The herd turns back, charging to rescue. This is the most dangerous point in the hunt. If the herd reaches them in time, lions can be trampled or gored. His sheer presence causes hesitation, just long enough. The calf collapses under the weight of the attack. The herd retreats reluctantly, unwilling to risk further loss. Scars from past confrontations mark several adults in the pride. Broken teeth, torn ears, healed gashes along flanks. Beyond hunts, their lives are shaped by territory. Males patrol borders constantly, scent marking trees and shrubs. They roar at night, their calls traveling kilometers across the savanna. These roars are declarations, warnings, invitations to challenge. When rival males approach, conflict escalates rapidly. Unlike hunts, male confrontations are direct. There is no ambush, no subtle positioning. They face each other openly, manes bristling, tails stiff. A roar erupts, deep and resonant. It is less about sound and more about confidence. If neither backs down, they collide. The fight is brutal and fast. Paws swipe with bone-breaking force. Jaws snap toward the neck. The loser may retreat permanently, driven from territory and separated from offspring. Such conflicts reshape pride structure. If a new male takes control, cubs sired by the previous male are often killed. This behavior, harsh as it seems, forces lionesses back into reproductive readiness sooner. It ensures the new male's genes spread. It is ruthless, but biologically consistent. Lionesses resist fiercely, but they cannot always prevent it. The survival of the pride depends on adaptation. They are not driven by rage. They are driven by efficiency. Every hunt is evaluated, every risk measured. Lions rarely attack without reason. They conserve energy obsessively. They rest up to 20 hours a day, not out of laziness, but necessity. Power must be stored for decisive moments. Fear exists within them too. Lions avoid adult elephants. They hesitate before engaging large groups of buffalo. They retreat when outnumbered by hyenas. Apex predator does not mean reckless ruler. It means occupying the highest functional tier within limits. The ecosystem responds to their presence. Herbivore populations remain balanced. Weak individuals are removed. Overgrazing is controlled. Caracases feed scavengers, insects, and microorganisms. The attack of a lion ripples outward, sustaining life beyond the immediate kill. Without lions, the landscape would shift dramatically. Too many herbivores would strain vegetation, water holes would degrade, disease would spread more easily. The attack is not just an act of predation, it is regulation. As dusk settles once more over the savanna, the pride rests with full bellies. Cubs wrestle near the remains of the carcass. Vultures descend cautiously. Hyenas laugh from a distance, waiting their turn. In the fading light, the dominant male lifts his head and roars. The sound rolls across open land, deep and resonant. It is not celebration, it is declaration. Territory remains intact. The pride endures another day. Tomorrow, hunger will return. The grass will sway again. The herd will graze again. And somewhere within that quiet movement, lions will be watching, because when lions attack, it is never sudden in their minds. It is the final step in a long chain of calculation. It is patience becoming motion. And in that brief explosion of speed and power, the entire balance of the savanna is reaffirmed. Ultimate predators are not defined by how often they kill. They are defined by how precisely they choose when to do it. And in the vast openness of Africa's plains, that precision shapes everything.